world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn. I hope you guys are having a high-vibing kind of day. I hope you're putting out a lot of love and kindness into the world, and I hope that's coming back into your life tenfold. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, you know the rules. The energy you put out into the universe comes back into your life in vast abundance, so please be careful with your energy exchange. It's the law of attraction. We don't make the laws, but we do need to live by them. If you put out a lot of positivity into the universe, a lot of blessings, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, a lot of great, wonderful things happen to you. However, if you put out negativity, if you are low vibrational negativity, always snapping at people, never have a nice thing to say, one-upping everybody all the time, that's the shit you're going to get into your life. You're going to get that low vibrational negative. Nothing quite goes right in your life. You need to change your energy. Changing your energy changes your situation. If you've never been here before, we are not a toxic positivity channel. It is just, there's a balance, and we want everybody to be strong, healthy, and balanced. That's your mind, that's your body, and that is your soul, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures. Everything in balance, in tune, at one, in peace with nature. That's what we're doing here. People come to me all the time and say, Kerri, there's a problem, there's a situation, there's a person, there's a place, there's a thing. And I say to them, we cannot change people, places, and things. People, places, and that's a free will issue. You cannot fix people, places, and things. But what you can do is you can fix the energy around the situation. You can fix your energy around that situation, and that situation will change for you. That's how we do it here. That's how we roll. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures, we are in the Wellness and Meditation tent. Yes, we are. We finally got it up. Halfway through summer, we finally got it up. Let me tell you, it's been a project. I think himself finally said to himself, oh my gosh, I better get this thing up with her because you're going to turn me into a damn frog. Rest assured, the man is still in human form, but we did get it up on Saturday. We went to the Potato Blossom Festival on Saturday, and it was lovely. I saw a lot of lovely craft vendors. It was great. We had a good time. Parade, lovely. Micmacs had their grand reopening farmers market. Great. We went, did a little shopping. Rain happened. We came home, had dinner, cleared a little bit. We were going to go to the fireworks. They weren't happening because of the rain, so we put up the tent. There we have it. Now we have a happy woman. I was happy anyways. But you got to razz them a little bit. We have had a shitty summer. Absolutely. Usually we are about 72 to 77 degrees now in this section of the summer. We do get hot. We get about a week and a half of huge heat. It goes up into the 80s and 90s, and that's in August. Well, since June, it's about 30 days, we have been in the high 80s, low 90s just about every day, or it's been raining. So it's just been we are the potato capital. The new potatoes are coming up just fine because people have been asking about our potatoes, but what's going to be harvested in the fall, they haven't yet pulled yet, so they haven't cut them through, so we don't know. Could be rotten, could be hollow heart, we don't know. We've had strange weather. Although the strange weather has produced abundance in our gardens. I mean, it's just been great. I want to introduce you to my surroundings a little bit. This is what makes me happy. This is my happy place. This is where the magic happens, ladies and gentlemen. This is the beginning of the Great Outback and the junk on my table. It's the beginning of the back 26. Now, the beginning of the back 26 used to abut my house. There was just a little walk path between the back 26 and my house. My whole backyard, we reinvented. We filled it. It was swamp. We filled it. We put the grass in. We seeded it. We sodded it. We did everything. We sculpted my entire backyard because that stuff is in a swamp area. And this whole, where I'm sitting right now, was that. It was all swamp. And now I got a beautiful backyard. We've been here almost 15 years. This is our 15th summer here. So there's been a lot of work done here on the little old homestead. We've transformed it from a very neglected, distraught piece of property when we purchased it to, because it was just a summer camp, and not the people we bought it from, but the person before them just didn't do anything. The elderly person just didn't do anything with it, and they only came up for the summer, so it was kind of what it was. And we designed the entire yard. Well, in the midst of designing, you know, we had to put the gardens in and herb gardens and all this stuff. So I had to decide where everything went. We were here, it was about 2 years into the project, and I decided I wanted elderberries. You all know elderberries in the cold and flu season. So we have our elderberry bushes, which I think we're going to have a fantastic yield this year. Last year's yield wasn't so great, but this year, I think we're going to do very well this year. I wanted elderberries. I've always wanted elderberries. I've always loved elderberries, but when you live in Rhode Island in the city, then they know a lot of elderberry bushes. So that was something that when I was doing my herbology, I really latched onto the elderberry and just could never have it because we rented. That's just the way it goes. And that was one of the first things that I put in, big permanent bush that I wanted to put in. And we were here about 2 years, and my mom bought me my first elderberry bush. So it was 13 years ago. And so they're 13 years old, and it's hit and miss. It just depends on the weather, Mother Nature, as to what kind of yield you're going to get. Our apple tree is full of apples, so we're hoping, please, because we do a lot of pies and sauce and, you know, have them throughout the winter, and the grandbabies love the apples that come off of the apple tree. And my apples do a lovely pink applesauce. They're a little tart, but you put them in a pie, or you heat them up and you get a lovely pink apple pie or pink applesauce. And I went for a walk just recently out into the raspberry patch, and we are getting raspberries. Yay! I was sampling today as I was going. And so that's a great thing. I think it's going to be a decent yield on the raspberries. Last year, not so great. That we just snack on. What I do with the elderberries is I make elderberry jam. So every day we're putting the elderberries into our bodies, you know, healthy on the inside, healthy on the outside. And when cold and flu season comes, not so affected. Read into it what you want. When we do have get colds or flu, we immediately start taking elderberry syrup. Hopefully I'm going to get a good yield and enough to show you guys through the channel how to make elderberry jam and elderberry syrup for your cold and flu needs. We had a blueberry patch when we first moved here. The only place that was plantable was in front of the house. So we planted several blueberry bushes, and they all died. And this year, the one remaining surviving blueberry bush, it is loaded with blueberries. Again, that's just going to be because it's only one bush and it's tiny. That's just going to be a kind of eat on the go thing for us, just like the raspberries. The raspberry, they're spreading, they're doing magnificently. We have wild raspberries out in the outback, but we cultivated this particular raspberry patch. It's actually himself's raspberry patch. But I whispered a bug in his ear last year when it was just, the yield was so bad. I said, why don't we just kind of let it go? Let the volunteers do their thing. Stop cultivating. Just let it go. Well, they went, and we're loaded. They went and we're loaded. We grow everything organically here, but I use the term organic where things flourish on their own. So I was just kind of like, let us do its thing. Let's do it spread. Organic. You know, this channel, it's growing organically. It is what it is. It's evolving. That's what I mean a lot of times when I say organic. So we did it the completely organic way. We didn't do anything to it. We just let the volunteers go. There was no clipping, there was no pruning, we don't fertilize with chemicals here. So there was none of that crap going on, and wow, the patch is amazing. But that's not what this video is about. This video is a product review. Finally getting to the nitty-gritty care. You're not going to see an unboxing and unwrapping and unveiling. I like to take a product, use it for 3 months, and then let you know how I feel about the product. Remember, this is my opinion. It has nothing to do with how the product will work for somebody else. It's just kind of how the product works for me in my daily life, in my daily practices. And today, we are going to take a peek at Anatomy of a Witch Oracle. Cards for the Mind, Body, and Spirit by Laura Tempest Zakharoff. Now let me tell you, I've been using these cards for 3 months and they are accurate. They really are. The imagery, absolutely beautiful. The imagery is gorgeous. If you read intuitively, this is a great deck. You can really, you can feel the energy. It's a lovely vibration. It's a great energy. It's healing. It's healing. It's calming. It's reflective. I mean, it really just kind of soothes the witch's soul. It really does. You know, we're always doing things for people. We're always shifting and juggling and giving it our all for other people, and sometimes we just need to know for ourselves. Our intuition is always up and it's always working, and sometimes it's in overdrive, and then it just hits a point where you don't know your ass from your elbow, sometimes for your own self. And this is a great deck for the witch to really sit down and get back on track. I don't use this deck for friends and family. This is mine. I'm possessive of this deck. This is mine. I'm not using it to read for anybody who is not a witch person. There you go. And a few witch people friends I will read for, but for the most part, I just keep this deck to myself. So you'll never see me use this deck on camera. That's just the way it is. Now, whether you read intuitively or you use the Cliff Notes, I read intuitively. I read both ways. Sometimes I really do need to use the Cliff Notes. Either way, the deck is accurate. Like I said, I've been using this deck for 3 months. And what I do is I use the deck. I write it down, write the card down, write the feelings, write the this, write the that. And then I go back and I look at it as it pertains to situations that are happening in my life. And let me tell you, this deck is spot on, especially for guidance. It really is. Now, Laura gives you in this lovely book, she gives you a couple spreads for you to do. And they really are wonderful spreads. I've used them to do some extra deep dives. Usually what I do with this deck is in the morning when I'm having my coffee, and I need to know about certain things about the day, I use this deck. I pull a card. Now, for a while, since the Gemini energy last month, as we came into the Cancer energy, I felt very stagnant and couldn't quite get my way out of it. And the shape-shifting card just kept coming up and coming up and coming up. And intuitively, I see certain things intuitively in this card. And then I was reading from the book and, you know, kind of trying to balance it. But I noticed, now in the book, there is a short synopsis of it. Changing little things about your routine, changing little things about your appearance is considered shape-shifting. And it can bring back confidences. It can bring, you know, you back to yourself. Sometimes yourself is floating out there in the wild, and you got to kind of rein it in and come back into yourself and maybe do the thing you don't want to do, but it's got to be done type of thing. Because even witch people don't want negativity. We don't always want to do certain things that are expected of us. So helps you do it. So on July 5th, first thing, it was this planned appointment, but the hair guru, and we did the do. I got my hair did, and that was that's when I started pulling this card right before that, and we did the do, and things started changing a little bit. Situations I was having were, you know, whoa. And then, you know, I don't want to be in barn clothes all the time, so I started changing little tiny aspects about my routine, how I dress, and next thing you know, the stagnation that I was under, which I'm not going to tell you about. Some of you can see what it was, I know, but that's for your knowledge only. That stagnation started lifting, the flow started coming back in, and here we are on New Moon Day, and I'm just right in the flow. I'm right in the thick of it now, and not as confused as I was. But this deck is great for that. This deck truly is a guide, as the book says, for the embodied witch. It is something that you want to buy for yourself, your little gift to yourself, and use it daily. Use it when you're stuck. Use it when you're confused. Use it when you're frightened, because even witch people get all these emotions. People think we don't, but we do. Sometimes we just don't know what to do for certain places, people, or things. And, you know, this deck will really, truly unstick you, and the energy on it is lovely and thoughtful, and truly accurate. So if you want a good deck to unstick yourself, ladies and gentlemen, think about picking this one up. And that is today's review of Anatomy of a Witch Oracle. Thank you for joining me, spending some time with me in my great outback under my meditation and wellness tent. I wish you guys to have a beautiful, wonderful, abundant day. Beautiful creatures of the world, carpe diem, because no one promised you a tomorrow. Ciao.